Welcome to the Rise Above Project. I'm your host, Joe Perroni. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, champion bodybuilder, and I've been a personal trainer for about 30 years. This podcast is about helping people with their emotional, spiritual, and physical fitness. I value strength, toughness, and truth. I despise complacency, the victim mentality, and following the herd. If you find my work to be valuable, please subscribe to my channel and tell a friend. Today, I want to talk about lions and what lessons they can teach us. As an example, I want to honor the two greatest lion kings in recorded history. They are Makhulu from the Mapoho Coalition and Notch from the Notch Coalition. Let's start at the beginning. Lions are known as being king of the jungle, yet they don't live in the jungle. They live in the grasslands and the savanna. As king of the beasts, you might expect that they are the biggest and strongest animals in Africa. Not true. Lions are not as big as an elephant, rhinoceros, hippopotamus, giraffe, and the Cape buffalo, all of which they must share space and compete with in order to survive. They are also outnumbered by hyenas 3-1, and they don't have an advantage against a crocodile while attempting to cross a river. Lions are not revered because of their dominance. They are revered for their unrelenting tenacity, bravery, and for having to overcome incredible odds to survive. Lions don't gain power and territory through passivity, and they almost never die from old age or natural causes. They die defending the territory they have earned in an attempt to save the pride and preserve their bloodline. And they do this with a grace and majesty that no other animal on earth can match. What does a lion have to endure to survive? And better yet, what qualities does a lion need to be the king? In an average lion pride, the females outnumber the males 3-1. All cubs face a high mortality rate due to being injured, disease, lack of resources, attack from other animals, and being killed by adult lions. Male lions are thrown out of the pride when they start reaching sexual maturity around 2 years old. The female lions are usually related to each other and are allowed to stay in the pride throughout their lifespan. The young males are cast out by their family members, and they either make it or they die. Less than 1 out of 8 survive due to not having adult protection, and they don't have the physical maturity they need. At the age of being betrayed by their family, they have no land of their own. To make matters worse, they still have their milk teeth, which is insufficient for an apex predator to get food or defend themselves. They start off as scavengers, and the best chance of survival is to create a coalition with other nomadic males or their brothers, if they're lucky to have any. If they wander into any territories where there is an adult male lion, they will be killed. Lion kings and their prides do not accept outsiders. If a lion survives long enough to grow bigger and stronger, their next hurdle and the best chance of survival is to take over another pride. This entails the inexperienced coalition having a death match with the resident experienced coalition. If the young lions do take control of another pride by killing their leaders or exiling them, they will always kill the pride's cubs. Male lions don't waste resources by being stepfathers. It is not their instinct to help pass on the genes of their enemies. The lionesses will not be interested in mating while they are nursing. The lionesses may defend their cubs, but defending too strongly will place their own lives in danger. Sometimes a lioness will flee with her cubs and try to make it in the wild as a lone mother. When the males kill all of the cubs, the females go into heat. Now the male can begin his bloodline. The mating process can take about 3 days, with the couple having sex about 50 times per day. Now, if you're interested in the math on that, it's roughly having sex more than once every 30 minutes for 72 hours in a row. Hmm. The problem with being the leader of a coalition is that there are always younger males looking to take over their pride and territory. If the leader is alone patrolling, there is a good chance of running into a coalition with 2 or 3 members, and these fights are almost always to the death. The best of Lion Kings are not expected to rule for more than 2 to 3 years, meaning their lifespans are violent and short, but it is necessary to preserve or instill the best bloodlines in the survival of the fittest. Makhulu, which means the big boss in Zulu, was born in 1998. Reports say he might have come from the Salala pride. Not much is known about his early years, but at 4 years old, he set out to rejoin his fathers, the legendary West Street males, his stepmothers from the Sparta pride, and his siblings. As stated previously, it is not part of a male lion's nature to reunite with his family, and it is not part of nature to allow a related subadult male back into the pride. But Makhulu transcended nature, and this is what legends are made of. Subadult males mature and become a clear danger to assert dominance. As such, Makhulu was treated as an outcast and was never fully accepted into the pride. The West Street males would beat him up, and he wasn't treated any better by his stepmothers from the Sparta pride. Makhulu endured what he needed to, and he never gave up. He made himself more valuable every day. His fathers were becoming increasingly older, were having more difficulty hunting, and were losing power and territory to the split rock males who were coming into their prime. Makhulu, who had uncommon loyalty and courage, even among lions, continued as the dutiful son. He was able to single-handedly take down 1,200-pound Cape buffalo and kept his fathers well fed as they were aging and losing their capabilities. Makhulu grew into a massive, majestic beast, but that is not what made him rise above. He was also known as the general because he had the uncanny ability to strategize, plan for the future, and to make decisions that had to have been more than just instinct. As Makhulu was supporting his fathers, he was simultaneously training and providing protection for his 5 young stepbrothers. He never attempted to take over the pride. Makhulu was as proud and powerful as he was pragmatic. Because of this lion's amazing behavior, he was able to prevent his fathers from being dethroned. This allowed his fathers, one by one, to die by natural causes, and thus they all died as kings. Makhulu became king and took over the pride after the death of the last West Street male. Makhulu and his 5 stepbrothers became known as the Mapoho Coalition. Having a working 6 lion coalition is extremely rare and is a direct result of Makhulu's ability to lead with canine and claw, as well as intellect. Under his leadership, the Mapoho Coalition, which included Mr. T, Kinky Tail, Rasta, Pretty Boy, and Dreadlocks, became the most notorious lion coalition in recorded history. They took control over countless prides and shifted the entire ecosystem in the Sabi Sands. These 6 lions ruled an area that was about 11 times the acreage of Manhattan. Makhulu was recorded to have won 10 one-on-one death matches and countless others with the help of his brothers. Makhulu died in 2013 at 15 years old. That is an extremely long life and beyond all expectations for a Lion King living in the wild. He was able to outlive his younger brothers in this harsh environment. Makhulu and his Mapoho coalition left an indelible imprint on nature. His legacy gives us all many life lessons that we may extract for ourselves. For me, he demonstrated patience, fearlessness, the ability to know when to be a leader and when to be a team player, and to be equally adept mentally as well as physically. And of course, he put his family first by being a great son, a brother, and a father. Now, as a marriage and family therapist, I have heard countless stories from people who hold grudges and blame their parents or partners for making mistakes and not being perfect. They have a tendency to amplify aspects that are not to their liking, but minimize many of the positive attributes and experiences. There is a tendency to have a laundry list of how others are wrong and what they need to do to become worthy, but not much thought on the ways that they fall short. This sometimes leads people to feel entitled to not live up to their potential, to hurt themselves, and to act poorly to the perceived transgressor. This is a recipe for lifelong pain. Taking an active role in evolution is to capitalize on the best parts of life, to develop compassion, and to experience post traumatic growth from the most demanding parts of life. Relationships are a place to give and become the best of yourself, not a place to judge others, and not a place just to take what you can get and make somebody feel guilty for not making you happy. In Makhulu, I see the wisdom of a living soul that on one hand endured being treated harsh and strict, but on the other hand realizing he was protected and being trained by the greatest hunting teachers in the Sabi Sands. He was able to forgive the negative behaviors of his family while having the wisdom to grow from the best parts of his family. And thus he became king of the most celebrated lion coalition in history. If anyone is interested in seeing a full-length movie about the Mapoho coalition, please search for a documentary entitled Brothers in Blood. Notch. Notch was first seen in 2003 when he and his coalition partner took over the Marsh Pride from 2003 to 2005. Notch's coalition partner was killed by 3 nomadic males who were attempting to take over the Pride. Somehow, Notch was able to hold on to his kingdom as a single male for another 2 years until 2007. In late 2007, the same 3 lion coalition came back to take over his territory, and this time they were successful. Usually when the king is dethroned, he is executed on the spot. If he flees, it usually only prolongs the inevitable because it is virtually impossible to survive as a solo male. This is due to not having any territory, being a target for every established lion pride, and not having the luxury of lionesses to help with the hunting. But Notch was no ordinary lion, and like Makhulu, he transcended nature. He fled and gave up his territory. However, he did not give up his sons. Notch took his sons with him and spared them from certain death by the new kings. Notch provided, protected, trained, and raised his boys by himself. His ability to handle the male and female roles and be a 1 lion pride made him unique. Against all odds, all of his sons survived, prospered, and were prepared to take back their land. In 2009, with revenge and redemption on his mind, Notch and his 5 sons named Notch 2, Caesar, Long, Grimace, and Ron took back the Marsh Pride. And they didn't stop there. The Notch coalition took control of over 10 of the 22 prides in the Masai Mara. Notch died of natural causes in 2013 and relinquished control to his sons. Because of Notch's determination, uncommon ferociousness, and his nurturing skills, he will be responsible for many of the next generation of lions. He fulfilled his legacy, and his impact and contributions will long outlive the years he spent on the planet. How many of us will be able to say the same? Again, take the lessons from this story as you see fit. For me, I believe that sometimes it's a great opportunity when your life falls apart. It gives you a chance to reevaluate who you are and what you want. Dr. Dabrowski calls it positive disintegration. I like to be reminded that roses grow best when they are pruned, and that an arrow's velocity is directly correlated to how far back the bow is pulled. Notch also reminds us to not forget what is important, and that if you want to be a leader, you cannot shrink from responsibility. It is a great goal to be a high achiever in any line of work, but in order to be truly successful, you should never neglect your children along the way. Notch also teaches us to choose battles wisely. Sometimes you have to put your ego down, run away, and prepare to fight for another day. Lions are never lazy, although they may sleep 20 hours per day. They are patient, they replenish, and they heal so they can perform at their best at all times. This is necessary for the obstacles they must overcome, which is always a life or death experience. How many humans are that dedicated to their responsibilities? Not many. Makhulu and Notch are shining examples that if you're going to reach your potential, you must constantly be in the process of becoming, and that standing still is ensuring demise and destruction. The lion world does not allow for the victim mentality. A loss is better than death, and survival entails being resourceful, improving your skills, and eventually asserting your will against the environment. The lion's pride does not allow them to sit in misery, blame the past, or to be self defeating. There is already enough danger and treachery in the world to extinguish your existence. The proud and the mighty don't help the world to diminish themselves. Everyone and everything in this world dies, but you don't have to die passively, and you don't have to die whining. The lion-hearted stands, roars, and does not go gently into the night. He rages against the dying of the light. I hope the stories of Makhulu and Notch were inspirational to you and gave you many life lessons to rise above the herd. Lions are one of the most iconic animals on earth. Unfortunately, there are only about 20,000 lions left, and they are extinct in 26 African countries. The biggest threat to the survival of these amazing animals is human beings. If you want more information, you can go to panthera.org. It's spelled PANTHERA.org. If you're in Las Vegas, I would highly suggest that you visit the Lion Habitat Ranch Sanctuary. I am Joe Perroni from the Rise Above Project. Please subscribe and tell a friend. Thank you.